Gotete Gius. Leandre Gotete Gius.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
It's all in my head tonight. It's all in my head. It's all in my head. Love all, reunite. Love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite. Love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite. Love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite. Love all. What you said, wanna lay in my bed. So I'm ready. It's all in my head. Love all, reunite. Love all.
Go, somebody say, put me in the game, coach. Yes, sir. Let's get it, man, tonight.
Here on Check Them Out, Coach, man. Y'all give it up for yourselves. Listen, we getting right into it again, man. Last week was a success, man. I got so much feedback from you parents. Hold up, y'all. Am I sounding good? Am I good, chat? Yeah, I see. I got volume. I got feed. I got everything. We got the music on. We got Paul Tech in the back. We got the gang in the back. We already got Coach Stan. We got Coach Wayne in the back over there on the Twitter space. We got Twitter routed in, so y'all gonna be able to hear the conversation that's been going on. I had tapped in a little bit earlier as we was prepping. Y'all know I had to go do another show, and then we had to get over here and set up for this one where there was no way we're missing this again. Y'all, I don't bump it. I ain't doing that. I don't if you talk about my hair in the comments today, we might fight in a few years. But tonight is up. All right, we really got some prospects we about to look at. This is the part of the series that I'm excited about. You know, it was great talking about some of the high-end guys in the state. Now let's look at some of the guys that's not getting as much attention, and let's start seeing why the state of Alabama is rising as far as the prospects that we're putting out as recruiting. And we're not just going to stick to the state of Alabama. It's just that me and Hardtech, this is our state. This is what we're going to do. We want to pop this series off with respecting our state and showcasing our talent across the world because everybody else is doing it. California, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina is starting to move up. Florida has always been, you know, right there in the top tier. But then when the Northeastern schools start projecting their top guys or their underrated guys and getting them looks and getting them out the state and getting them opportunities, it's time for us to pick it up and do our part. So myself, Hardtech, down south, and a couple of more people across the state of Alabama, we're collaborating. We're doing this every week, the whole summer. We're doing this, and this might carry over into the season with Friday Night Lights, highlights, and all that thing. Me and Hardtech got a vision for this thing, and I appreciate my brother for allowing me to be a part of it. So, without further ado, man, I'm gonna get the chat the space timed in. Let me see if I can get it timed in. 1 second. Mic check 1 2. Hardtech, can you hear me, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm here.
Yes, sir. Look, I just got done doing the intro. Welcome in, chat. Everybody say what's up to our brother Hardtech Sports, Mr. Trey himself. What's good, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. I got my audience right here, man. We was actually doing a show. I got Coach Freeman that's going to be coming in. So, we got a special show set up, man. We was really doing a show from yesterday that I had got cut short with the internet connection. But, I got the whole world connected right now, the Twitter world, the YouTube world. For our last week's show, man, we have, several people that tuned in. So we're literally doing a little bit of technology, cross-collaborating right now. The Twitter world in introduction with the YouTube world with you, Coach Smook, man. But I'm blessed, man. How about yourself, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I was just over here telling the YouTube chat we're on all of the platforms tonight. Once again, like you said, the feedback yesterday was, from last week, just not just from parents. We're talking about people who just enjoy football content or following, recruiting. Like, people are very interested in what we're doing, and to be headlining with the state of Alabama, I think. I didn't think it was a more fitting situation or subject of topic of conversation to have with two personnel like myself and you and me, bro. Like, we really doing some things here. So and shout out Coach Freeman. You said Coach Freeman pulled up. I see you down there, Coach. Shout out to you, man. Good to see you in the chat. Definitely going to get him on. Anytime one of the GOATs, around here in college football, we love when we get our coaches, not college football, but high school football. We love when we get our head coaches to come in. And because they already have enough on their plate with keeping these guys in line and you know, putting them out there with what they do on the front lines of developing these young men and giving them opportunities. So great to have him on. And Trey, I'm ready to get into it, man. I got the link set up. We're gonna be seeing highlights tonight. So if you all are looking for the visual, pull up on the YouTube side. We're also live on TikTok. We're live on Facebook, and we're also live on Twitter. So you can see it on all those platforms. Just make sure you pull up, interact, drop some comments, help create some algorithm, because the whole point of this is to get eyes on these recruits, on these players, on these athletes that we're going to be recognizing. And not just them, but you never know, running back highlight can lead to a visit in a school that needs a guard or a tackle. Your undersized son that's really a dog might get that look because of the running backs film being viewed on this channel. So, and we have testimonies and real life stories of that happening, even in the early stages of doing this. So we're not going to slow down, and we ask that you all support it and push. This is a cheaper way to really help your child get some type of opportunity. Opportunity is opportunity. Me and Trey say that all the time. Opportunity is opportunity. Take advantage of it. What you do with it is on you. We're just here to try to help you get one. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it back over to my brother Trey, and he's going to kind of narrate. You know, I'm going to do my producer thing and my commentating thing, and we're going to make this show a good one tonight. Chat, running it up on all platforms for you, boy. Tap the screen, run the likes up. Twitter, retweet. Me and Hardtech both got post up. Make sure y'all go check them out and show the love. All right, bro. Handle your business, man. I'm here back in the passenger seat.
Hey, man, appreciate you, Smook, man. Like I said, it wouldn't be possible without you giving me ideas of being in more places at one time, man. And my Twitter audience, man, they understand what we're trying to do here is literally help every kid in the state of Alabama that want an opportunity. You know, and one of the main things we've been talking about was, before we jump into this, is camp season.
Yeah.
There's rules, there's new things that's going on with camp season, as far as the FBS schools have to end their camp season a little bit sooner than FCS's. I think yesterday, the 22nd or 23rd, was the last day for FBS's. So I think the feedback overall wasn't as great across the board for most FBS schools. And I feel like that will continuously be a trend moving forward. And I had, picked a lot of people's brain about that. And I spoke briefly about Coach Freeman about it. But we all understand that the game is changing, and it is a lot goes into a lot of these college camps nowadays. But to hear it from, people who are in the business, in the game, can be more clear and probably help some of these parents. That's why I really want to let you hear it from coaches who are in the business of it, like Coach Freeman. So for him to be able to talk about it and express how he feels about it, we all understand that we got to help one another. And these kids right now, they will need it more than anybody, is because we understand that they need help exposure-wise, top to bottom, 1A through 7A, private schools, wherever. These kids need more exposure, and camps are not what camps used to be. And I think that's a clear message across the board, especially most big-time schools. And you just got to be more strategic and have a strategy. I think overall that's what we all came to the conclusion with, is that, you got to have a plan of action now to go camp. And going to an Alabama camp per se, we talk about that camp because we have been talking about it. I mean, they're a brand school. Everybody knows Alabama is the biggest probably brand in the country when it comes to football. And a lot of kids come to the camp for maybe those purposes. We just don't know nowadays. But there has to be some form of a system that we feel, Smoot, that can kind of control or make it clear about what you're looking for, who you want at your camps, or there has to be something there that we can give to the future generations, because if not, we will have the same continuous problem of camps being overrun by a lot of campers, maybe getting 2 reps at each station. I mean, it's just so much has changed that we got to figure out a way to figure out how to stop it or be more clear about it. And I know if Coach Freeman is available, I know he's traveling with his team down in Foley. I would love for Coach Freeman to be able to talk about it, but if he's not able to talk about it tonight, we'll definitely have to pick his brain on another show. But he has great insight on this, Smoke. And I think too, being covering Alabama football, it is very hard to receive a scholarship from the University of Alabama. And that, Smoke.
100%, man. And like you said, I hate to regurgitate everything, but man, we have such a space now with technology and social media. It's about really routing it, and that's what we want to do. We want to take advantage of that. So when we have opportunities, like you said, with guys, coaches like Coach Freeman, I get to talk with Coach Griggs down at Russell County a lot. We got Coach Shooks down at Pike Road. Like, these are coaches that are really open to any type of quality exposure for their kids, man. So let's really push it tonight. But I really want to hear from Coach Freeman, man. If you don't mind, go ahead and slide into that conversation before we really get into the highlights. I really want to get into that and get it on the web, man, because this is a collaboration this fall. I'm going to be doing a lot of high school collaborations, and Coach Freeman has already expressed his openness to just really do things the right way, and I love that. I love that. I've always admired how he's done things, even when I was, coming out of high school, just his name and the coaching rank. So, Coach Freeman, Trey, if you want to go ahead and take over and do an intro or however you want to do it, brother.
Like I said, Coach Freeman would probably be the best person I would advise a lot of parents and players to listen to, is because of he's been down this road before, and somebody who I speak with constantly and often about the game of high school football as it is in this day in 2025. And he's been coaching for a long period of time. So I always give him and other coaches that I know, hey, this is what's going on. How can we help, or what do you know to help fix the problems? And Coach Freeman is always adamant about the game, advancing the game, helping the game. So without further ado, Coach Freeman, first off, how are y'all doing down in Foley? And did y'all stay hydrated? I told the people that y'all down in Foley, 107 heat index. Are y'all okay down there?
Man, it's good, Trey. And Coach Smook, I appreciate you, man. I remember one thing about being older is I remember when you guys were breaking into business. Just can't deal really with the reality of what you guys do and the diligence that you guys do it. You see people come and go. You see coaches come and go, and you see a lot of things. But, man, what really sticks in your mind is people that work. We got a slogan out, work them all, and you guys put your money where your mouth is, truthfully, and I appreciate you guys and the kind words you always say for coaches and players. I appreciate what y'all do, because truthfully, without this right now, a lot of these kids would not even have a chance to go to a lot of the schools. And so I appreciate all you guys, and Stan and Wayne, guy. You guys know how I feel about you guys. And, Coach Reed's on here. I see Coach Reed. Just the business itself is about promoting these kids, and coaches really need to remember they get in the business to promote the kids, not use kids to promote their career. And I think that's big with coaches right now is, if you don't have the resources, you guys, when I was at Bessemer Academy, if I'd had you guys, I'd have used you and asked you to help me and my kids any way I could, because I didn't have the resources that I have now, but I still had really good kids that needed exposure. So without, I want to help y'all guys, and I want to talk, and Trey, we're doing good, brother. Tomorrow's going to be warm, but it's that time of year to be hot, and we're in God's land playing football, man. So life is good.
Absolutely. And Coach, one of the main things that's going on, a lot of parents are starting to realize the stuff that we talk about since January, is that you're going to prepare yourselves for a very tough, difficult camp season if you making I would say not the worst decision, but not smart decisions on where you camp at. And you probably could speak on some of these big camps, the big branded schools. What in this day and current climate of 2025, what is the realistic approach for the average football player, meaning, no stars or anything like that? Are you advising your kids to go to these big branded camps? I won't have to say a school specifically, but, the FBS P4 schools.
Trey, I get accused a lot of not wanting my kids to go to camps. And, I take a beating by people. They say, well, he just wants them there working with him. That's not true. I've been involved in this, and I've seen it over the years, the way that these camps have gone. And I'm not blaming the Power Four. I'm not blaming the big schools, but it's like we ask our kids, deal with reality in life. And I think that you got to understand, first of all, as a parent and as a player, you got to put a value on where are you truthfully. Are you being recruited by any schools? And if you're not being recruited by any schools, your camps are probably better suited for like the mega camps, the Mercers, the Sanfords. Get your name in the pot somewhere. You can't be steak until you've been hamburger. And so get your name somewhere. And I like the mega camps, but the Camping World, Trey, as you guys know, if you're not a if you're not a highly recruited or advertised player, the way these camps are set up now, it's going to be hard to get recognized because those guys, they go to a whole different area of the camp. They're coached by guys that really want to see them individually doing certain things, and they're usually going against the better of the opposite position. So if you're a D lineman, you're probably going to have a mark on your helmet, or you're going to go somewhere and you're going to work some of the better offensive linemen because they want to see what you can look at, how you look against those. And truthfully, there's going to be 3 or 4 D linemen they're looking at. There's going to be 3 or 4 offensive linemen. It ain't going to be, they're not looking at 50. And so you put yourself in a position, if you're a high recruit, it's like I tell our guys, I got a call from a major school, not in our state. I didn't get the call, the kids did. And I tell our kids, hey, I'm not your parents. I just want to help you save money. I don't want you to have an accident going to a useless camp. I don't want you to have a hamstring because they tell you to run the 40. I said, look, let me know or let our coach know. So I got a text from 2 of my players 2 weekends ago, and it was from an out-of-state school, Power 4, big major school out of state. Hey, we'd love for you to come to camp this Sunday. We're really intrigued with you. And I told the player, I said, they're so intrigued, they didn't even come to spring training. I said, we had 90 schools come through. These guys are so intrigued with you, they didn't even find value enough for them to come to our spring training to check you out. And I said, I don't think you need to go. And I called the guy and I said, look, man, I've known you a long time. And I said, I don't mean this wrong, but I really don't want my kids to be ransom. My kids are not for ransom. And I said, if they come, these 2 particular kids have numerous offers, Trey. And I said, you guys wouldn't even spring training.
Yeah.
And he said, well, we did. I said, look, man, don't do my kids like that. If they come over there, they need to be ready for you guys to offer them. And I said, there's film, there's all kind of opportunities you could have been looking at these kids. And what happened, Trey, both of them had just got 2 or 3 offers that week from other schools. So I felt like this guy says, well, I need to get these kids over here. And that's fine, but don't use my school to make your head coach and your position coaches think you're working the dog out of my school because I ain't talked to you in a year. So I don't know now why you're on my kids, because they just got 3 offers this last week from Alabama and Auburn for one thing. Now you want them to come over here, and I get it, but our kids are not for ransom. Like, and so people say, well, you shouldn't do that. You know what? If they were interested in those 2 kids, they know those 2 kids. They've been in my school before.
Come on now. He's speaking some real.
If I can look at film and evaluate film decently as a high school,
he's speaking some real, chat.
Surely a college coach should look at film and say, he's somebody we're interested in. And at least call me and say, coach, we really like those 2 kids. If they come over here and they do what we think they can do, we are going to offer them.
What's up, Nick?
Then you can live with
What's up, Day Day? Good to see you, boy.
But there's so much going on right now, and I don't blame. It's not the position coaches. It's not the guys. It's the guys that these schools have behind the scenes that are just trying to drum up business. And I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm just being real. With our kids, they come to spring training, they see our kids. Those are the guys that usually have legitimate offers and interest in our kids, not somebody that did not even come by for spring training. So those 2 kids didn't go, and it didn't hurt them, I promise you, because neither one of them was going to get offered that day, neither one of them. But they were going to be in Thompson clothes, and right now we're highly respected. And, these guys try to get our kids. It's no different with Hoover or Central or Auburn. But, I just try to – a lot of things happen. I don't believe in companies that have these fake interviews. I got to interview 3 more people. And you got a guy who drives 500 miles or whatever to have an interview. He could get killed in a car wreck. He could – a lot of things that happen. Just be honest with the dude, man, and do whatever. But I'm not against camps, but I think a player and a coach, you got to be truthful with yourself and start somewhere and collect you some offers. And those offers may lead to other schools thinking they missed you, which might be a a Division II school, they might have thought they missed you. But it's just like you guys, Coach Smoot, Trey, Wayne, Stan, Downs, all these guys, they got to get their name in the hat. They're not just going to go floating to the top of the pack, I don't think, unless they're the top 1% of the kids that can't be missed.
Exactly. That's a great point right there. I think Coach Smoot, you had a question? And actually, I got to tell you, we're actually streaming live on YouTube. So, Smoot, go ahead.
Yeah, so I really didn't have a question. I just was over here basically amening Coach Freeman, because this is a reality that a lot of parents need to be educated on, not necessarily told, because they're facing it, right? They're facing it. You have the parents that, well, my son ain't getting looks because we stuck at this school, or my son ain't getting looks because we don't have the money to get to account. Well, I think the more we educate and we talk about, really investing and reintegrating the mindset or the concept of community development, right? You have programs in schools that are surrounded by talent beds of prospects in those areas. You talk about Mobile, you talk about Thompson High School, you talk about Hoover, Birmingham area, you talk about Montgomery, East Alabama, all of these different areas in the state of Alabama. And kids are getting pulled in different spots because the community development or the homegrown development is not poured into as much. There's not as much value put into it now. Now you got travel ball and 7-on-7. Everybody want to travel and convince kids to come. Hey, come play in my area. Y'all look good together in 7-on-7 off season. Let's do this over here at this house. And that's what's taken away. So now you really don't have a true direction of what your child is being evaluated with, because they're just on this all-stars team of kids during the summer, and they're getting all this hype and all this other, you get what I'm saying? So we got this idea around it. And I think more coaches need to be more open about how to approach their program. If you're a dominant 1A school, go ahead and say, hey, we don't want guys, like Coach Freeman said, I don't necessarily, I'm not going to say I don't want guys calling, but if you don't have the respect enough to see that we're a 1A program with limited resources and we're really homegrown developing guys and putting guys, and all of a sudden, because, UNA or UAB has come down here and offered my diamond in the rough or under the radar gym, now you want to jump on the bandwagon and act like we got this relationship. No, let's not do that. Let's build a rapport and really evaluate what we have through allowing resources like myself, Hall Tech, Coach Wayne, everybody here. This is how you create that value. So, Coach Freeman, I appreciate you for expounding on that. And parents, really listen up from a standpoint. I don't need to defend my child or fight for my child's value. Let me find the value in my surroundings and what I already have available for me, because opportunities now is more easier to create opportunities than it has ever been. You just got to stop running after the big flashy glitter and gold stuff. It doesn't always have to be a Bama. It doesn't always have to be a Georgia. I guarantee you, University of West Alabama is doing some crazy good things right now. You get, I mean, with West Georgia, I'm sorry, University of West Georgia, they're hitting the area and recruiting like crazy right now. You got teams that SMU has been spotted down here in the past couple of weeks. I mean, a lot in the state of Alabama. So it's not, you don't have to be caught up in the fandom of your childhood. Really listen and look for opportunities so you can really create value for yourself. And parents, allow yourselves to be educated. We're here to help every child. We're here to help every child, but it's going to be from a realistic standpoint. When you all see us do these highlight reviews, I'm telling you, it's one of the things. I have no shame, because I remember getting my highlights reviewed. So I have no shame. I want your child to know exactly what this young man to know, or this young lady, when we start doing the flag football, y'all. We got ladies flag football, but we want them to know what the scouts are going to say, what the recruiters are going to say from these schools. We're going to be realistic as possible. So, Coach Freeman, again, thank you for that, man.
Thank you, Coach Smoot. Like I said, it's just, I'm not against the camps, but I think the thing that we got to get people to understand is a dad or a mom, their value in their son obviously usually is different than the value of what his value truly is to a football team or to his teammates or whatever. And I think you got to be real with yourself, and just at some point you got to start somewhere. And like I said, it's not the coaches that you all hear their names and stuff. And I'm not beating the analyst. I'm not beating nobody down, But those guys are in a different world than us, and their job is to create a library of players for their school. I understand that, but you got to be real. And because somebody calls you and asks you, you got to say, are they doing this to help them, or are they doing this to help me? If they're doing that to help them and they get your school, and Coach Reed, listen, man, if you're at Hoover, if you're at Clay, listen, man, there are a lot of good schools with a lot of good coaches and a lot of good players. And if you're at one of those schools as a player and you're not being recruited, I promise you, you're at these major, your coaches are trying, I would say, to their best to get you recruited. So if you're not being recruited, you got to do what Trey and coaches Smoot and Stan and all these guys, you got to figure out what's my value and where can I go and put my value on the line for somebody that may like me. And I mean, just
hey, TikTok family, everybody across the platforms, listen. What's happening right now? We're kind of having a discussion with legendary GOAT Coach Mark Freeman, former Alabama alumnus and longtime coach in the state of Alabama. If you have seen any of your top high school prospects out of the state of Alabama over the past, 8 to 10 years, you probably heard one come from Thompson High School here in Alabama. So that's who we're on the line with. We're in the Twitter space. Go check out my brother Hall Tech Sports. I'm gonna be flashing their pages across the front. So continue to check it out. Appreciate y'all. Tap the screen, like all that good stuff.
From a coach, I'm not gonna say position, that called me and said, "Hey, coach," he said, "I want to call you personally. We still believe in old school stuff here. I want to call you about this player. Tell you I'm going to recruit him. We're interested in him." And the kid's got 50 offers. He said, "We want to recruit him." He said, "We love his film. And we love that he's coming from a good program, but coach, we still believe in old school stuff here. And I want to call you and tell you that we're interested in that we're going to contact him." And I told him, I meant to text that Coach Lashley that night and tell him, it's refreshing. And you're starting to see some schools kind of, the old time guys get back where they're going to call in there and say, "Look, we're recruiting this kid. We're really interested. If you can send him up here." Now, I'm more prone to listen to that than somebody that's calling my kids. And then at the end of the day, nobody likes to hear this, but it's the truth. I doubt any of them top kids are paying a dime to go to that camp. So the first thing I ask our kids, are they asking you to pay? Well, it's NCAA regulations. We got to pay. All right. So let's say everybody's paying. So you go to the camp. Everybody's
Coach Freeman putting it out there. Go ahead, Coach.
Right.
I love it.
You go to the camp. What group are you in? You can tell right away.
Jordan, I need this clip, please.
What group you're in if you're truly a recruit at that school. Fact.
My mind, y'all go there.
And then I don't, like I said, I don't think it's the top coach doing this. I think position coaches are out there working the camp. I think they are looking at the talent. Them guys are fighting for their lives. I don't care if they're Alabama, Auburn, LSU. Them guys are fighting for their life, trying to get players to help them win games right now. They're not interested in calling 50 new kids right now. They cannot. They have to win now. The days of building programs, including the 2-year recruiting system on kids, it's like I tell Trent Seaborn and Cam Pritchett. I tell our main guys.
These Trent Seaborn, the new Alabama target.
Anything I'm saying is right, but take it for what it's worth. I tell those kids, recruit off relationship. Don't recruit from schools. If that coach wins a lot between now and when you graduate, chances are he's not going to be at that school. If they don't win, he's going to get fired. So build relationships with coaches. I tell Trent, build relationships with Garrett Riley. Build relationships with Kent Austin. Build relationships with guys that are your position coaches, because if they're the coordinator at a school and they do really good, they're going to get their opportunity. So build it off relationships as opposed, in my opinion, to schools. When I grew up, you got recruited by schools and they built programs, and your family went to that school and your brother went to that school. Now it's different. Find a coach that you really trust, and if he's recruiting you and like you, kind of put relationships up there before you do schools, because in the real world, if a coordinator wins a lot of games right now, he's going to get a chance to be a head coach. If you shun him because he's at Georgia Southern or Georgia whatever, or Sanford or wherever, maybe he shuns you when he becomes head coach at, let's take John Summerall, Tulane. John Summerall won't be at Tulane forever. John Summerall will be in an SEC school probably.
Facts.
To do that.
We just was talking about coaches.
Build relationships, not schools, is what I feel like.
100%, Coach.
The relationship absolutely matters. You're spot on with that, Coach. Mr. Houston, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. And I hate to pick on I'm a fan. I hate to pick on them, but what Trey and I talked about this earlier. Trey and I was there at the Alabama camp this weekend. We were there as dads. Trey's got an excellent athlete as a son. Mac's got potential. He's got 3 more years to go. But what we witnessed made us better as far as this show, so we could advise parents. That was a total money grab. And a lot of those kids left discouraged. They left downtrodden. But it's a lesson learned. And these parents need to realize, I talked to a parent that we're trying to help. He's a 26, and this was a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, we're going to go here. I said, man, I don't think you need to go there. I've told you he's probably D2. Maybe you need to go to Shorter Valdosta camp, and that'd be excellent. Shorter's handing out scholarships to Alabama's players because they want them, because they know we got the dogs here. Valdosta State, same thing. Valdosta State's been in the playoffs for D2 every year. They've been in the finals pretty much the last 3 or 4 years. Those are opportunities that a lot of our kids have got, these D1 ambitions, but you need to look in the mirror, look in reality. And I think our parents need to realize this. And the biggest thing is, parents, if you do go to these camps, please limit your attendance. It's taken away from everybody, from the experience, from the other parents, from the coaches, from security on campus. It's a lot of things involved. And we knew that was a money grab at Alabama. And I've never seen Mac take a shirt off so quick. And this kid grew up an Alabama fan. And I know, Coach, you graduated from Alabama. But it broke my heart. I'll be honest with you, you can't talk about it. Trey may not want to talk about it much, but I was heartbroken when I got home. And I hope this was just a fluke because of the funeral with Keelan Russell's sister and all the coaches were there. But dude, stuff's got to change. These parents got to realize we don't get suckered into money grab, because that's how some of these GAs make money. And don't fall. My philosophy from here on out, if you don't call my coach and invite my kid to camp, we're not coming. And just watch tape, because tape don't lie. So, or I'm calling Mark Freeman.
Need a banner change, man.
That's a great point. You were spot on, and it's realistic stuff that we're talking about right now. So I enjoy the conversation that we're having right now, and a lot of parents is listening right now. They're all understanding exactly what we're trying to promote and preaching right now as to how to get you aware about camping moving forward. And I appreciate Coach Freeman and Mr. Johnson for Mr. Houston for sharing that sentiment about it. Smoke, go ahead. I know you got them live. Matter of fact, everybody, we are live on YouTube right now. Make sure y'all tune into YouTube. You can actually watch yourself on the space that we're doing. We're interacting 2 platforms together. Twitter, YouTube, he's all over the place, but Smoke is all out there. Go ahead, Smoke.
Yeah, so check this out, and you hit it right there on the head, Stan. That the festivities, the funeral arrangements and everything did put a little crook in the thing. But if you look at guys that visited Bama camps last year compared to, towards the end with Coach Saban, what you saying was spot on, man. It was a lot more discouragement coming to those camps, and that's one thing that with NIL and all of these changes in college football, we really got to be cognizant of. And if you're not looking at this as a business at this point right now, then you're going to be behind in the recruiting aspect. As whether you got a 5-star kid sitting in your living room, or you don't realize it, or you got a 1-star that can show up with the right guidance to the right spot and progressively get to that level. It may not be the traditional career path. And right now, if we're talking about career path on the collegiate level, the amateur level, which is now, you know, semi-pro amateur with them getting paid, you there might be a good opportunity to start off at, and I'm doing some kind of consulting with recruits now. It might be good for you to go and start off at Alabama State or Tuskegee for 2 years, right? And then develop and really get on film and get you some film, get some tape out there, and have a realistic plan by building relationships with that staff and their connections and using them. Because in this game, if you can create opportunities for a player now and supply them to Alabama or Auburn from Alabama State, you're creating more value for yourself as a recruiter, as a position coach. So it all works out. If you're not looking at it as a business, I mean, from a majority aspect, 70% of it, 65-70% of it is really business. You know, we talk about relationships important as far as picking a school and committing, but the business aspect is going to overrule because the coach gets an opportunity or there's something that fits his family needs. He's got to make that decision. So it's all business at the end of the day. Being educated on how the business works will save you a lot of heartache. I tell a lot of kids, you know, that talk to me, man, I want my son to get a Bama offer. No, I don't think your son is a Bama kid. Your son might be a future Georgia Tech kid because of the scheme and all of this and things. Certain aspects of evaluation that have to factor in that will help your child get evaluated at the next level. And I'm telling you, the opportunities out there, D1, D2, D3, NAIA, all of it, you're getting opportunities past that. There's so much football, there's so many opportunities past college, you know, and D1, Power 5, Power 4 now, than the traditional route. So I think we really need to focus on educating. Like you said, at the end of the day, that's all it's about, man. Getting the people educated and understanding that you don't have to, like Coach Freeman said, don't put yourself in those positions to take those losses and experience that discouragement.
And Coach Smoot, word you mentioned NAIA, there's no limitations with them. They do not. It's wide open 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days. They can contact your kid. They can talk to them anything. They don't care what class you're in. They can talk to them, and they actually offer scholarships. Now, Division III cannot offer scholarships. I mean, they don't. But that's an opportunity some of these kids overlook. You play 1 or 2 years there, and if you're the dog, man, you can go further. So don't eliminate your resources.
Shout out Faulkner University right here in Montgomery, Alabama. They the ones that I was introduced to NAIA because they came and saw me at a basketball game and invited me to their workout. This was 2007, 2008. This is when it started for NAIA for me. I really want to say around 2004 to 2007 is when NAIA started really making their athletic pushes on the football field. You didn't see a lot of thriving football programs in NAIA level. And you started to see the West Coast picked up NAIA, then Midwest, and it started getting down in the Southeast real heavy. So I like to see how it's come in the past. You know, I've been out of school. I'm not going to tell y'all. I told y'all already, but it's been a while. My recruiter is still on staff at Faulkner, and to see how it's evolved, man, it's amazing. So I appreciate everything that's happening right now in this game and how it's evolving. But back to you, Trey. I'm swinging it back to you, brother.
All right, man. Well, look, you know, we got the GOAT on. We had Coach Freeman on. And before we let him go, Coach, we know you got a lot going on. Y'all, it's Foley down there, 707. We just want to wish you guys the best of luck down there. Y'all make sure y'all don't come back on a blank trip. Y'all took the trip down there, come back with the hardware. But I know you guys are going to be ready to go. But what does competition look like? What all teams are down there? I know y'all go randomly every year. I think y'all been going every year for a while now. But what's the landscape down there, Coach? What y'all looking like down in 707?
Well, Trey, I appreciate you. And there's some really good teams. We've been coming out here for years, and we open up tomorrow, Saraland. We end up with Hattiesburg. I think Hattiesburg got the #1 receiver, one of them in the nation. I think we have Opelika in our pool play. So that first day, we're going to see some really good teams. And you know, you knock the rust off. We went to Alabama, Auburn, but there's good teams. Trustful's down here. Heck, I can't remember all, but there's some. Gulf Shores is in it. There's some really good teams in this thing, and it's really competitive. And Derek and them do a great job. You know, up at Foley, they play at the Oval Park, and there's like 12 fields, and it's just, you know, everybody understands it. There's not a you don't see, I mean, as a rule, you don't see, anything out of control. Everybody, they run it really well, and it's just, it's good. But there's some good teams, Trey. And, on the one final little thing on the camps and stuff, it's hard to evaluate some of my kids that I see every day during the week because they grow and grow. Think how hard it is when these kids get 1 or 2 reps at these camps. And it's almost impossible with that happening that you really, I mean, what are you going to get out of that camp if you're getting 1, 2, 3? I don't know if I was talking to somebody today, and Trey, it might have been you, but
hey, I don't mean to cut Coach off, but this is something that I've had to experience recently. So there's a prospect that I'm trying to help get looks, gain some attention, and you all know I speak directly with the University of Alabama, and I wanted this young man to at least just get an opportunity to get a look. And because I couldn't guarantee that he was going to do what Coach Freeman said, like explain, if you get invited to these mega camps and you're not getting the tag to get pulled off to the side, it's probably not worth going. You might be able to make one play, but you got to understand, if you're a wide receiver or a running back, you're not having the best quarterback throw you these passes in these evaluation reps, right? They're over in that other group, so you got to go out and do something crazy to even get the attention, and you might get invited over. You might see 1 or 2 guys get pulled from a group because of how they look. They passed the eye test, so we'll get into it a little bit more. But he was really talking. That's some real stuff. So I told this recruit, I said, mega camps will be better for you because mega camp going to last all day, right? You're going to see a lot more schools out there. They're going to actually be out there looking for different position groups and all of this stuff. So great information.
Education. You got to understand, at 20 now, you become what the 18-year-olds used to be. Now, unfortunately, you are the grown 20-year-old man that could be taking the high school guy's job now at some of these mid-majors or potentially P4 schools because you're 20 years old. You've had 2 more years to mature, and you can't get all kicked in the rear end and say, I didn't get recruited. If you love football, man, I encourage you, find a place to play. Don't give up, man. I've got a friend of mine right now that I coach. He's played quarterback at every team around. He was my quarterback at Gulf Shores. He's still trying. He went to Troy, had a great career. He's picked up with USFL. And, as long as they got life in their legs and they can play, I told him the day, I said, man, he made a comment, this might be it. I said, don't let it be it unless your body says it's it. I said, and that's what I tell our kids. You got to look at these offers, man, and get your foot in the door and know at 20 years old now you may get the chance to get what you want. And the junior college, I mean, heck, those years don't even count, I don't think. And so, I don't know, but I appreciate all you guys, man. I'm not going to get on here and talk no more, but I appreciate all you guys and what you do and all you parents, man. There's people out there that'll help you. Don't sit around and think you're bothering these people because these men on this site, I know this is the reason I spend my time trying to listen to them is because they really will try to help you with your son. Sometimes you have not because you ask not. So ask people for help. Ask your head coach for help. And like I said, I believe that there's a lot more opportunity right now than people think there are for your son to play college football.
Man, Coach, man, you said it so well, man. I appreciate you coming on as always. Appreciate you allowing your expertise, your advice. You're actually mentoring a lot of coaches and players right now as we speak, and those parents too, because they hear from us all the time, but you also help us reiterate these things. So I appreciate you for doing that. And also tell all those boys down there and the parents, everybody that travel, good travel graces to and from y'all destination, man. And I think you guys are going to be just fine, and hope you guys can bring back the hardware, Coach.
Well, Trey, I appreciate you guys, man. And like I said, I really do. I love and appreciate all y'all, and we're going to play it. And so I got to tell them when this 7-on-7 touch football is over, we flush it. The site we're at, we flush it before we get in the bus, and we go back and try to work on being a good football team. But you can't beat the reps, and you can't beat seeing great players. I love seeing great players. We're gonna see some really good ones tomorrow. And Trey, once again, I appreciate you guys. And if I can ever do anything for y'all DM me, call me. That's talking about any player or any coach. I don't have all the answers, but you just work a long time. And if I can ever help any of you guys, man, I'd be glad to do it. Y'all have a blessed night.
Hey, Coach, I just want to say thank you for coming on, but I want you to work on it, improving on your record from last year. I don't want you to be on the hot seat or anything, but
well, if I do,
I'm
Ben,
kidding with you, man. I love you, man, and I'll call you later.
All right, bud. I appreciate y'all. Hey, you're on the hot seat every day, Stan. I promise you. So I appreciate y'all and call me anytime, Stan. Tell Mac hello.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Absolutely. And appreciate Coach from coming on, man. Like I said, we're actually on live on YouTube, live on TikTok. Whatever Smoot got going on right now.
We out here.
What's on, Smoot? You see how we do for the spaces, man. We connected with everybody over here.
Yes, sir. And that was awesome, man. A lot of people over here, even on the YouTube side, and even a few on TikTok, recognize Coach Mark Freeman. So you know you're doing something big, Trey, when you can get Coach Freeman to come in here. And I think everybody has this misconception because of how great and all the things he's accomplished that he's unreachable. But I think of all the coaches in the past year and a half, and this is just like one that has that persona about him. A lot of coaches we've made networking relationships with here at the Coach Smoot Network, but Coach Freeman was one of the first ones that was like, it was almost surprising how easy he was just open. It was like he looked at the content, took probably like 10, 15 minutes to look at what I was doing for Alabama, and literally immediately was like, yeah, anytime you want to come by, we just call us ahead of time so we can make sure we get you credentialed and everything. And I'm like, Coach, I just wanted to introduce myself. You know, I ain't even trying to get on the side. So to see that type of energy around supporting these kids, more coaches are doing it. I can speak for Georgia, Alabama. You know, I'm crossing over into Mississippi now, North Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. We're seeing more coaches understand this part of it when you have quality guys like some of the guys you have in this space right now. So I'm glad to do it. But Trey, I'm ready to get into some highlights, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm ready to talk about some of these guys. I got to look at two of them that I wasn't following, and I'm mad because you wait until tonight to put this out there for me. That's what you're doing. That's what we're doing, bro.
Hey, listen, man. This is how I find talent, man. Anybody ever ask me how do I find guys in the state of Alabama? This is how I do, man.
You hold it out.
Hey, listen, it's crazy that some of these guys on this list that y'all have seen, probably heard of, but a lot of these are probably first timers for a lot of you guys. But these guys are absolute dogs. Anybody would love to have these guys. Some of these guys need a little bit of, talking points about them. But essentially, these guys are not going to be your 4-star, 5-star guys. But these are guys that's going to make rosters once the coaches can identify. Most college coaches have identified with most of these guys is because they're not going to come off as the 4-star, 5-star. But if you start watching their film, you start to realize, and there's 126 down there, maybe a couple, actually all the 26s. I got to give them all love. But Austin Cherry, that's the one. A lot of people go check his Twitter account. He don't have nothing on there but one highlight film. And that's all you need to see about the story behind who this kid actually is and what he did to elevate his game in one workout out in Tuscaloosa with Coach Nalu and Raising Champions. Right place, right time. We'll get to that in just a second. But here we are. We're at the top of this list. So first off, Smoot, who did you know? Who did you didn't know on this list? Because I hit you with a curveball for sure with this one.
So I'm very familiar with Montez. I got my family down in Troy. Charles Henderson. We saw him at Charles Henderson last year. But had a few plays against Russell County last year. I was following Russell County real strong last year. Was it Russell County? I know I watched him play. Oh, it might have been a Destroying video. I seen him make some plays in the Destroying video or AJ Green, one of those. But getting back to his film, man, looking at the highlights, this young man has really stepped up his game since his sophomore year, I want to say. Yeah, his sophomore year when we first got. And I didn't know he had built up this type of physicality to go along with his natural speed. But the young man, he's really going to climb some boards, being able to close and shut down we know he's a shutdown corner, lock man, right type corner. But his physicality from last year with this quickness, man, I think he's really going to start gaining a lot more attention. A lot of people going to look at his size. 5'10", 190. You see a lot of the Power 5 schools going to that 6'1" frame corner. But this guy, he plays big. He plays big, plays physical now. I'm looking at him. I'm going to pull up his film for what you got to say about him right now, Hard Tech. I'm going to get his film on the screen for us right here.
Okay, so how I met him, how I met Batman. I met Batman down in Baton Rouge. Down when I went down to LSU last week. Man, all my weeks starting to run together. But I met him, and actually there's a photo of him circulate with him, Roman, and a couple of his kids from down in Charles Henderson. So we got some babies on the way. We got 28s and 29s that's popping in that picture. And Batman, he runs a 4.4. That 4.449, that's legit. I mean, honestly, he's quick like that, built like that, and he's solid. That 5'10", 190. Man, this kid, he's a block out there, and he got good coverage. I'm talking about he's in your hips. He's slapping your thighs every time you make a stride. He's actually like that. So he's really like that. So he's a guy that I feel real good about. I feel good about his growth. I feel like ever since I put him out, that boy been popping like that because all you had to do was watch the film.
Yeah.
And if you get to watch him practice, if you get a chance to just see him practice or see how he moves from point A to point B, once he see that receiver runs his routes and he's able to identify and jump that route, he's in their pocket. So I think he's going to be taking a lot of wide receivers' money this season. I feel like he's versatile. He may have to get on offense because he got shout out to my boy Jeremy Johnson.
Yes.
Man, Jeremy Johnson. He was with Catholic last year. I know a lot about Jeremy Johnson's mindset. Now that he got some weapons to work with, he actually can do that right there. And like I said, Batman's gonna have to be a leader because he's on the team. Charles Henderson, man, they had stars come and go. Zion Grady was a star,
Yes.
but unfortunately, he had to go. But at the same time, this is Batman's year. I feel like he's gonna have a great year this year, and I think a lot of y'all who don't know him, y'all might need to follow him.
Yes, and just to kind of expound on it, man. One thing I'm going to continue to tell you what's going to create value for him. I know he's listed as a corner, but when you look at the collegiate level, the next level, guys that are thriving at that nickel corner, that in Alabama scheme we call them the Rover or the Husky, those strong safety type builds that can be hybrid corners or also can give you linebacker feels. This is a young man with this type of speed and the frame to put to go into that 205, 210 range. You're talking about a nickel corner spot, that a nickel corner type build that can really give you everything in one skill set. So I like where his eyes is. The IQ is there. He doesn't second guess his decision making. I'm looking at this film, man. Is almost as if you want this kid to be a nickel corner. You want him in the box because of his physicality. He's a short tackler, very, very quick in reacting to the ball, diagnosing the run. Run fits, seals the edge very well when he is the boundary corner. I like what I see from this guy. Definitely underrated talent, but you know a big year from him in this region, he could definitely start garnering some attention. So I like this. I like this under the radar hidden gem here in Alabama, man.
Absolutely, man. I think he's going to do just well. Like I said, he is the leader among some young DBs. That's actually there. Shout out to D. Brunich, man. They're doing a really good job with the talent they have down in that Troy area with those Charles Henderson boys. And I think they have a little work cut out for themselves. You know, they had a little rough season last year just because of them trying to adapt to all the things that they lost, especially anybody with, losing Zion Grady.
Yeah.
Great guy, Parker Adams. You're going to have to adjust, man. But this is their year. I feel like he's already getting some attention. He's already getting the offers. And I feel like he's going to probably be a better player now that he knows that people actually have identified his game. And all he has to do now is just stay the course. Stay the course. He's going to be just fine. And I feel real good about you. So, Batman, take care of what you got to take care of. Handle what you got to handle. Trust the people that's around you right now. And you're a 26 DB, that if you just keep your head above the water and stay the course, you will be playing college football on Saturdays, my boy. Next up, who you got up?
We got 26 out of Dora, Alabama, middle linebacker CJ Brown. And yes, dog, like this is what I don't like about the major recruiting sites and things of that nature, man, because you miss out on talent like this. His numbers don't pop when you talking about the bench press or the squat or anything like that. But you look at him when he puts on the pads, when you turn on the film, like Coach Freeman said, a lot of these guys, you turn on the film and you're not talking much about he's not big enough or this enough. You turn on the film and you look at what they do consistently, play in, play out. And I'm not talking about highlight film, I'm talking about game film, where you're able to evaluate guys' reps, what their down plays look like, what their up plays look like. I look at his highlight film, this is a motor kid off rip. You don't look at him and say he doesn't have a motor. Every highlight on this film, he has a motor, but great run diagnosis. And this is another hybrid frame type of guy when you talk about linebacker. I feel like he's one of those kids that can go into a system at, a Mercer or a App State or a Nicholls State, somewhere like that, where they utilize these linebackers all across, edge, inside linebacker. They kind of cross train these guys. And I think he'll be a good fit for a system like that. Not sure where his offers are right now, but, not playing the biggest of ball in Dora, Alabama. Out there, is that Corner High School?
Corner is a 5A school
Yeah.
right now. They shocked everybody last year when they beat a lot of teams that they were not supposed to beat. They beat Ramsey. They beat teams that they were definitely not supposed to beat. And now everybody's watching Corners. Everybody wants to see exactly what CJ.
What's happening? Never seen this program. Hold on, let me see.
Mr. Houston got something to come in. Come on in with it, Mr. Houston.
Yeah, Coach. CJ, man, he's one of my nephews, man. This kid, we adopted him last year. We adopted Corner last year. They surprised a lot of people. CJ's he's an athlete, dude. He's multi-talented. He can play tight end. He can play linebacker. He can play strong safety. CJ's got the tools. He's not. I mean, CJ will know it. You're not going to Alabama or Auburn. I actually talked to a coach from Western Carolina about CJ this past week. I'm putting CJ out there. He's a diamond in the rough in the state of Alabama. CJ is a dedicated kid, great GPA, 4.0, good 40 time, 4.6, not bad for his size. And the biggest thing is we promote these kids on this site, paying it forward. CJ pays it forward. He supports a lot, even in his own position. He's promoting these kids statewide. So shout out to CJ. He's going to go places, Coach. Look him up. If you can promote him, do it.
We got him. We got his film running right now. So y'all chat. Y'all know how we do, man. I want y'all to run the comments up on all platforms. Let me know what you think. As you all see the evaluation or see these players' highlights, we do our own little evaluation segment during our highlight power hour. But tonight is more so of our introductory, just showing you all. We're not really evaluating, just showing you all what we see. So, Coach Stan, I appreciate you for tapping in and being able to, enlighten us. And that's the point of doing this. I don't want to be the only guy doing the reviews and not knowing no backstory. This is why I love this panel, this setting right here, because now we get some backstories. We start to get that intimate knowledge of what we're seeing as a product on the field. So CJ definitely is an athlete. Y'all see him, man. We always talk about level of competition. Say what you want. When you're dominating, when you're just dominating, that says something. That there can be developed. And like you said, Diamond and the Roughs are really those guys that are committed to development, man. They're committed to development. You see the good recruiters, the good scouts, they go and they see a natural talent, a raw talent, and they say, okay, if I could get him to buy into 20 reps of just doing this, it'll change his whole makeup. And CJ is one of those guys. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys you give him an assignment and he's going to do that assignment. And that's what you want, especially at the linebacker position. So great evaluation, Coach.
And for me, I know a lot about CJ. I've seen him in 7-on-7. He worked with Alabama Legends. Not just that, he has adapted to everywhere he has been put in, and every situation on the football field speaks to that narrative. So for me, I've covered him for 2 years straight, probably longer than that, by the analytics. This is why Max Preps is very important to me. I would have never knew who CJ was if I would have been dropping every week who are the top 15 tacklers, who are the top 15 in sacks. CJ has been consistently the past 2 years. Him and his teammate Rhett Kofer. I could have put Rhett Kofer on this list too, because those two guys are competitive against each other in the line position. They're both hungry to be great. So when you got two linebackers like that, man, look, CJ Brown, if CJ was on another team in this state, a 6A or 7A program, man, he'd have 100 offers right now, easily. But we know he is going to earn his stripes out here because he is doing it on the field. Right now, you can pull up who was the top 15 tacklers in the state of Alabama last year. CJ Brown is on their list. Who was the top 15 in sacks in 5A last year in the whole state? CJ Brown is there. So he's consistently in the two main categories that a defensive lineman or a defensive skill guy in the trenches would love to be part of. So his value right now is slowly rising. He's out there now, But man, he could have been out there a whole lot longer. But the area of corner, who thinks to go to the corner to go find talent? Well, those boys did something for themselves by helping themselves by popping up on lists. Now they back and got a running back that's doing it. So now this team, because of Max Preps, the coverage, the journalistic work, God's work that we're doing, this is clearly a way for these guys to become something. You know, they believed it themselves. Now they got the spokesperson outside the box because we identified with their game. So I got to root for a guy like CJ because I found him in my journalistic work. The reason why I get up every day and go hard at this craft is because guys like CJ is leading the way. He just needed some camera time. And you know what? We giving him that camera time tonight.
100%. Hey, and that's why I was saying, like, you literally just need that one because CJ is going, I guarantee you, man, somebody's looking for this young man to come in and develop. While you developing, go ahead and be a special team star. While you developing, because the energy is there, the motor is there. Go ahead and be a special team star as a true freshman. We ain't got to waste a year. Develop on the field just in case something happened in front of you. We feel like we can put you out there and grow with your bumps and bruises. That's the type of energy I get from CJ. So appreciate y'all for putting him on. Trey, next up, man. Another DB, bro. You went in with this one. This is one of the new ones. You caught me off guard with this one. Talk about Ian Coleman, brother.
Ian Coleman is a good one, man. If y'all know gyms, I know a gym when I see a gym, you know, and I ran across him at a camp, you know, and I observed him and I saw how he was moving, fluid. He had the ability to react well. And I said, who is this kid? And typically when I have to say, who is this kid? I don't know. You know what I mean? So essentially I went over, you know, who are you? He said, oh, me, I go to so-and-so. I was like, oh, I mean, they have a history of having talent at Gardendale, but I think Coach Firestone, he definitely has him one with this kid, Ian Coleman. Coaches are going to start to identify this kid, and you can definitely see this kid's going to have potential. He's still kind of a hidden gem, so to speak, but I'm sorry, Ian, and Coach Firestone, we got one of you guys out there like that, but I think he's a kid that I feel like can do well for himself based upon his film, based upon what I've seen with my own eyes. I think this kid is a next level athlete. I don't know how his recruiting is going at the moment, but I think he's putting himself in position to gain a lot of exposure just because he fits the bill. Have you checked him out, Smook?
Yeah, and that's why I said you got me with this one because not only have I checked him out, the young man, skill set wise, he puts some of your power 4 DB skill sets immediately on film. You know, just reaction speed, driving and securing tackle, form tackling from the defensive back position is something that you're going to see your elite DB recruiter talent developers. That's a key thing when you're talking about turning the film on. Form tackling, confidence in your tackling, all of this. I get that from Ian Coleman right here. We're getting some buffering on the highlight film, but let me go full screen. But I mean, first few plays in, Trey, you just look at his reaction to the ball in the air. You're not seeing a guy that's lacking confidence in attacking when the ball is in the air, but also just the discipline to pick and choose his spots. Another DB that we're evaluating tonight that I truly believe needs to be in the nickel safety room, like just because of the range and the secureness. One thing I'm learning about defensive backs in the state of Alabama and some of these talent-rich areas, some of these more I guess you could say higher end ball competition levels, is the physicality at the second level. Somebody that I admired out of state of Alabama that's at the University of Alabama right now, Red Morgan. I've watched Red since he was a youngin', just kind of be relentless with his body. Now he's at Alabama, got into that weight room, putting on about 15 pounds of muscle. We know, if you watched Red Morgan growing up, you know that boy was not gaining no weight ever through high school, but he gets to Alabama, gets disciplined in his program, and now his physicality, what he naturally possessed because of the mentality, is starting to showcase and create value for himself at the collegiate level. I get the same types of feel with Ian Coleman, and then the young man, he can make plays with the ball in his hands too. I'm pretty sure that's what caught your eye, Trey. As soon as if he's got a chance at the ball, it's at this level right now at Gardendale, you see him making a lot of big plays and creating a lot of highlights when he's able to make plays on the ball. And I think this is a kid, you know, I don't know what, like you said, I don't know his backstory, but I wouldn't be surprised if going into the senior year, he might get some opportunities to be on the other side of the ball. He looks like he's a natural athlete, man.
Coach, he's 6'2", so that's a great asset for corner.
Yeah, corner, that safety position, the one high safety. You see a lot of guys 6'2", 6'4" right now at the collegiate level in the SEC. Between 6'1" and 6'4", that's really like, that's the build that they're going through. And I'm not saying this is a SEC prospect right now. I could see some small development things that can take place. But this is a young man that could get on an SEC roster and really develop. You look at the rawness and his talent. He's one of those guys, man. So Ian Coleman, continue to do your thing, man. I like what I see from you. That reaction and physicality is something that's going to carry him a long way. With that size, people are going to say, I could put 10 pounds on you. Just stay physical. You know, be willing to commit to the training, the developmental side of things, and you'll be straight.
Definitely. Shout out to Ian Coleman. Shout out to Coach Firestone over at Gardendale. Gardendel's going to be a program that's going to have a lot of eyes on it this year, especially with the first-year head coach. Shout out to Coach Firestone. I'm supposed to go by there and check him out. I don't know when that'll be, probably sometime in the summer, fall. But I plan on going by just because, I mean, the kid, he did everything he could to stand out. So he stood out and caught my attention. And I'm pretty sure those coaches at that camp saw him too. So I'm pretty sure he's on the board. So shout out to Ian Coleman, man. I think he's going to continuously grow as he goes out through this fall. So that kid might end up being 6'3". I mean, 6'3", probably 6'4", just because he was rangy, he was long. So I feel like he could probably fit that bill. So great tape there, man. Great tape. Next kid up. Are you familiar? Have you been to a Mount Brook game before, Coach Smoot?
You know what, Trey? I have not. I have not been to a Mountain Brook game since I was suspended. I think we was in the playoffs. I got suspended my sophomore, junior year. We were supposed to go up there, but I haven't been up there to a Mountain Brook game. Talk to me, man. What am I missing out on?
Well, for one, this kid is special right now is because Mountain Brook is a very powerhouse traditional football program. They have a great fan support. They fans show up to their games like a real deal college football game. They
like Texas type stuff.
It's one side. It's like a one-sided stand, so everybody sits on one side of the field, but they got a little divider kind of split the fan base. The energy there is very electric. They got a great fan. Their student body is really lit over there. You know, as of late, they've been a very successful program, so the student body gives them a lot of energy on the sidelines and things like that. But however, they play solid smash mouth football that is very tricky. They call it silly shifts. So what I mean by that is if you watch Stuart Andrews film, you're gonna realize that this kid right here is in a system where the offense is so strategically messing with your head. Like you got to pay attention to what's going on. If you don't pay attention to what's going on, essentially he done ran down the field from 90-some yards before you realized that he had the ball. I didn't even know because I was so focused on the line, moving to the left, moving to the right. So Stuart Andrews is probably the most underrated running back, probably because he doesn't look the prototypical size of a running back, as we all say. But if you look again, me following the Max Preps, me always identifying who's putting in a lot of work, who's working out there on the field by production sometimes, it found me realizing that Stuart Andrews was the leading rusher in the toughest classification in 6A with almost 1,800 plus yards on the ground with almost 20-some touchdowns.
Trey, I lied to you. I remember this young man. We had him on the show probably like 2 months ago when we were about to kick off. This is speed. I remember him. Chat, y'all remember this reaction? Hold on, I'm going to pull the film up, and I think I can find the clip. Hold on. I think I was on one that morning. I had a little energy, Trey. And I think this is him, chat. My AAA family going to remember it. I think this is it. This first play, I was sitting right here.
him being a back and possibly go to UAB and develop a special package back. I mean, I'm just saying, he could be yes. I think it's going to be a certain school that's looking for a player that they can add. It's almost like a miniature version of Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Because he's the versatility that you can get out of this kid, if he can give you that acceleration going in between the tackles, if you swing the ball at him any type of position in space, I think you probably can end up getting, at least 15, how many yards he averaging per game right now is like up around 10 or 11. I think you can get that easily with Stuart Andrews. His value right now, he's out there, I think it's going to go up.
Yo, my chat, I can't stand my chat right now. They really some snitches. I don't want to offend nobody, but if you ever come to my channel, I don't want to offend nobody. We have a certain space. I don't know how Trey carries himself. Well, I do know, but I don't want to do that. But I said something in the chat went crazy. They remember this, so it's funny. But yeah, this is Speed Chat. This is the guy that when I was reacting that first play, I rewinded it like 8 or 9 times because, like you said, Trey, he has a deceptive pull away speed. He finds his hat. He doesn't hesitate. He sees his lane and he hits it. He sticks it. And don't let him get the third step out of, that third step pass you up, because you see after the third step, it kind of just flows through his speed, turnover speed. And like you said, you get in some specialized, speed training. This is a kid that can really get on somebody's roster and be a third or fourth option in your running back room. That is like your change of speed back that can get in the wheel concept out of the backfield and really just burn past, like he's doing right now. Burn past linebackers, catch safeties one-on-one. It's going to be hard to tackle him with this running back frame. Very, very versatile Army Swiss knife type of deal. And then he's not a small, undersized guy that you're looking at and kind of like, oh, he's a lucky charm. No, he's a physical. He's a physical guy. He can be physical if that's the style he could choose to be. So, collegiate level, you're going to see some value behind him, and might end up start creating some value for himself if he get in some route concepts. You see him running that wheel route out the backfield a lot. Comfortable with catching the ball over his shoulders. A solid prospect, man. We talked about him before on my show, so pretty awesome that it took that one play to remind me exactly who it was, because I haven't spoken to him personally. Most kids that I remember, we have some dialogue, but he does follow me, which is awesome. I'm definitely going to be reaching out to him and seeing what everything is going with his recruitment.
Man, appreciate that, man. I got Mr. Houston going to come in. I think Mr. Houston knows a little bit about it, too.
Oh, yeah. I've watched this kid for 2 years, man. He's a lot like your son, Trey Roman. Running back, he could definitely kill you at slot. I mean, the kid's got quick speed. He's quick. If you get on as far as 100 speed or whatever, the biggest thing with him, he's quick. Run over your butt. I guarantee you that. He's physical. Same thing as Roman. This kid's legit, man. I see him. He could possibly go D1 in my book as a slot receiver.
Yeah, exactly what I was saying.
That's exactly what I see. I see the versatility, man. Just how comfortable he is with catching the ball over his shoulder. He's just in a system that utilizes him as a running back. But get that man in the system and get him confident in route techniques, route concepts. Reading, and honestly, I think a lot of systems that use him as your read guy. Give him the responsibility. High IQ guy, clearly. Look at how patient he is in the run game and how decisive he is. You got to have some IQ to understand development, understand the way you trying to dictate the defense to flow. You lean, stick your foot in the ground, hit the hole. Very rarely see him getting tackled for loss for yardage too. So I'm liking this prospect, man.
Okay, so definitely highly rated inside the state of Alabama.
Yes.
It's because he's in 6A classification, and he's the leading rusher in 6A, all of 6A. So almost having 2,000 yards rushing in 6A is crazy. I mean, that's a lot of numbers. Now, you get that in 1A and 2A on a random Thursday. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I'm just saying, to get that in 6A classification, which is one of those toughest in the state of Alabama, it speaks volume to this kid's game. So I have to let my analytics and all the stuff that I've covered from this school, and not just, from the school, but his analytic numbers of what he's done the past 2 years since Cole Gamble has left. This kid is going to be special, and I feel like he will probably more than likely be playing college football somewhere next year. So Stuart Andrews, man, I think you have everything going the call. You have everything going in your favor right there. So just keep pushing yourself forward. And I think he might get close to 1,800 yards again this season, if not better. It's because the offense, the game is structured, the way they play football at Mountain Brook. He could go off for at least 150, 200 sometime, because I've seen this happen before with Mountain Brook offense, that sometimes, going back to Cole Gamble, you can get 200 some yards in a game because your offense is just clicking from that silly shift, the offensive line doing their jobs and being very coached up. Shout out to Coach Yeager. I know, his name, involved with things right now that we're discussing about so many other matters. But as far as him coaching up his team, does what he does, man, he's an outstanding coach when it comes to preparation, having his team ready to go. I have a lot of respect for him in that regard, especially with him having guys with like Cole Gamble, all the guys that I've seen run, and Stewart is one of those guys too. So Stewart, man, I think you're putting yourself in a great situation to get more attention, gain more recognition for your game as well. And Smook, man, you already done seen it before, so it's perfect that you've already identified the same thing I have.
Speed. I like it, man. I like the way he can pull away. Transitioning to the next one, man. This one is the one you were talking about earlier. Get the backstory, because I gotta do the Coach Smook way. You see him represent my position in this highlight film. So Trey, go ahead and give us the rundown on this Austin Cherry kid, because I was talking about this young man earlier in the year, and it's a lot of Bama fans that call me crazy when I talked about I don't even think he's officially rated star ratings, right? But I said there is some in-town kids at in Tuscaloosa, and I recruited for Alabama. There's one that's already starting to make some headway with Alabama recruiting, the linebacker Key Hall. I think his name is Kevin Hall or Key Hall. Zay Hall. Austin Cherry is literally the next name that I started talking about. I was like, man, they got a receiver, a Devontae Smith type. So just talk about him, man, before I get into my little breakdown.
Okay, so yeah, man, you just got to be at the right place at the right time, and you just got to have that journalistic itch, man. You got to know what you're seeing, you got to know what you identified, and you got to know the right things about players and what they've been through and what they've experienced. So the super backstory about this kid is that we got to go back 2 years, not just last season, but we got to go back probably further than that, like right when Miles Holcomb took the job over at Tuscaloosa County. You know what I'm saying? He was in a limbo of what school should I go to? Should I stay here? Should I go? A lot of kids in Tuscaloosa were facing that dilemma when Weingarten left and went to, I think he went to Troy at the time. A lot of those kids in Tuscaloosa didn't know what they was going to do. So a lot of those kids were going back and forth between Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa County, because there was a lot going on at both places. So Austin is one of those players that was going through it too. Loving Tuscaloosa County because he played there last year. Now he's over at Hillcrest. So he was one of those kids that were probably hearing mixed stories about both programs, because at the time everybody was scrambling because they didn't have a head coach to the last minute. Miles Holcomb took the job, whatever. But in the midst of all that, talent switch hands, so to speak. You weren't supposed to let the left hand know what the right hand doing. You want the right hand know what the left hand doing type stuff. That was going on literally between two schools, and that's Tuscaloosa County and Hillcrest.
Hillcrest, yeah.
Long story short, he's at Hillcrest now, but he's brought the talent that he had the whole time. So nothing changed. He just done gotten better with his skill set. Now he's at a place to where it can be identified, but he's just had one of those guys. If this was the lotto, he won the lotto. It's because he was at the right place, right time. I'm gonna let Mr. Houston come in and chime in before I explain right place and right time. Go ahead, Mr. Houston.
How in the hell did you find this guy? Because he has no posts except for his huddle from his junior season. He's got 9 followers. He's got his phone number up there. I don't even know what school he's at. I discourage these guys to post in their phone numbers because a lot of people can prank them. But how in the hell, Trey, did you find this kid, man? Because I would have said click, move on.
This is how I saw him. It was before Trey even put. I was looking at Kevin Riley. I don't know if you all know who familiar with Kevin Riley. From he's at Alabama going into his second year. I was looking at him, and I believe it was a game last year when Kevin Riley, and I don't even think Cherry was number 11. I don't even think he was wearing the same number, but it was a play where Kevin Riley had broke downfield, and he was running with Riley downfield, and I was like, bro, the wide receiver outrunning the running back, like he done came and passed him up, and it was funny the celebration that happened. So I'm like, who is this guy? And you start looking at some of the highlights, and you know, like Trey said, you start doing a little bit of history, and it's not the highlights. It's, you got to go and watch games. You got to start asking around. This is one of those names that got caught up in that mix, you know, trying to find a solid spot, and it's hard. You know what it is, what it's like, Coach. But yeah, you right, because I looked for his profile on Twitter, couldn't find it. After I seen that highlight, I'm like, who is this kid? And it was funny just seeing that little piece, how fast he was. You know, running past Kevin Riley during that big touchdown run.
Essentially, I just was like, okay, who is the receivers? You know, me trying to find out who's who on most teams. I'm like, okay, you got a quarterback, but who's the quarterback going to throw the ball to? And essentially, somebody got to catch the ball. And at the time, Coach was like, oh, man, I really like this Austin Cherry kid. I was like, oh, okay, who is it? Let me see. So he was out there. They was doing a little thing, and he was running routes. And I was like, oh, man, crisp on the routes.
Fast,
speed.
Man.
That's the first thing I saw was that quick speed. And the balls, what really caught my attention was, you know how sometimes a quarterback will overthrow a ball bad sometimes. You just like, ain't no way hell you can go catch this. Every time I said that, this dude ended up catching the ball. So I was like, oh, damn, like he got that speed. So foreshadow a whole year and a half, somewhat later, I'm at a random workout with Coach Nalu and them over here in Tuscaloosa, and guess who's back? Austin Cherry, where you at, man? I thought he was still at Tuscaloosa County. They're like, no, I'm at Hillcrest now. I'm like, whoa, boy, you got a real quarterback. You got Jordan Shambly as your quarterback.
Yeah.
Jordan Shambly is the future. Everybody know. If you know, you know. Jordan Shambly is going to be the future, man. This kid's unreal talented, man. He's working his way up. So I automatically identified, okay, you can catch rockets. Because if you catching Jordan Shambly balls right now, you catching some pure rocket. This kid got a rocket arm. So I knew then I'm about to see a show today. Meaning all Jordan got to do is, if Jordan put it in the air, Cherry's about to
Cherry gonna pick it, baby.
But here's the thing. He didn't get Jordan every time because you training with other quarterbacks. So you got to learn chemistry on one of the great things about it. So, okay, here we go. Out there watching routes like I normally do, evaluate, even filming. You know, I'm filming with Raising Champions. But at this particular time, I was not filming. And I was standing in the right place at the right time with the right person that saw something that said, hey, who is this kid? And that's where we're at today, why he's on this list, because this kid has worked himself up into this position by default, because there was never no force to put him here, but I just kept identifying this kid is special, man. I think we need to figure out where we can help this kid. And tonight I just felt like this is my best chance to help this kid. This is my best chance to let the world know Austin Cherry should be playing college football next year, is because this kid probably has a story. I don't know it all, but I know he's been through the whole cycle of this school, that school. What should I do? Where should I go? Should I go here? Should I go there? So that's trauma for him to have as his high school career going into his senior year without no post, no nothing, no life,
man.
No nothing. But hey, we're a village here, man. We vessels. I'm a vessel. I'm this man find a home, because I literally seen this kid take a pass at that workout, the same thing that caught my attention the first time, it caught my attention this time, because the ball was uncatchable. Matter of fact, the ball was the worst ball that you thought was uncatchable. This boy tracked the ball down, snagged it with one hand. The coach from this quote-unquote big school said, hey, who is that? One play, right place, right time. Now he's on a radar at a P4 school just off of that. Now that I've seen it with my own eyes, I said it myself then. Now somebody else seen it who has the right opportunity to put him in opportunity. And not be at that school, but I'm pretty sure he's going to say, hey, man, I know you probably can't be here, but you deserve to play somewhere, because what you did that day, you caught my attention and everybody else's, because we all was like, "Ooh, wow!" Like he caught that pass that everybody saw was an uncatchable ball. So right now, go follow this kid. I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows that he's a pretty good guy, but he's the guy though right now. I like Austin Cherry, and I wish him well.
Austin Cherry _1 chat. I got his social up there. Mary J, can you move that banner? I'm gonna run his highlight film. I just want to talk about this first play. Is so many things in this first play that he has, and this is nothing but, he's basically running a ceiling type slant type deal where the receiver is giving him cushion, and he's going to press the cushion, and the decisiveness, the timing on this, and the separation after the catch is something to be amazed. I said it earlier, and I don't want to get people tripping, but this is the same type of stuff I saw from Devontae Smith coming out of high school, the former Alabama wide receiver, Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver, Super Bowl champion wide receiver, Devontae Smith. Yes, I said it. This is the type of things, and I talk about other receivers in the state last year that had that big play making ability and quote unquote undersized because of their frame. We talked about last year, Denver Harper over at Russell County. I got to see that firsthand. Multiple times throughout the year, got to the point where they didn't want to punt the ball anymore when he was back there. Anytime he lined up in a twin set with Jamari Burnett, you kind of knew it was going to be pick your poison. So I look at the skill set here, the breakaway speed that you see from Cherry. This young man, he, like you said, this man needs to be somewhere. He'll get on somebody's roster, and it wasn't crazy to hear that Alabama found another in-state, in-town prospect that nobody's talking about. And when I started looking around, Hard Tech talks about this Austin Cherry kid. I hear about the 7-on-7 things that's going on. I'm looking at him. Look at the poses he's doing. We emulating Ryan Williams. You look at the skill sets, man. Get the ball in his hands. He does the same thing that you see, and this is Tuscaloosa County. You see these highlights from them, but you go on to Hillcrest. It's a step up there. It's a step up there, and it's a program that's put out some D1 prospects consistently. So I think he's going to see some positive growth this year. And like Trey said, man, let's get over and follow this young man. A lot of us parents are in here supporting our kids. There's other kids out here that deserve opportunities too. Just to follow along can help these young men. So get over there and follow him. Electric kid, very exciting to watch. You're not going to get a lot of it's not going to be a dull highlight film, I guarantee it. And you're talking about a weapon, man. He has the opportunity to be a number one option. You utilize him in a jet sweep. He's going to beat you on the vertical concepts. He's going to, break you down in the double moves. It's a lot that I like about that I'm seeing with this kid. But yeah, shout out to Austin Cherry, man. 6 foot 175, literally the same size as Devontae Smith.
I said, I think he will be just fine. Austin, you just got to keep your head up, keep focusing on the craft. And I think you got a good quarterback, so I think Jordan will be able to help him out this year. Offense is catered to the wide receiver somewhat, and I think he'll find a home, whether that's Alabama, Auburn, the SEC, it don't matter where it is. He's going to earn his stripes, man, because this kid's going to stand out. He's standing out every time I see him. So I just feel like he's really good right now. So Austin Cherry, keep doing your thing. Hillcrest, you got a good receiver over there. And trust me, people know your name now, buddy. Just keep working. Last guy on the list tonight, man. We almost through, guys. We almost through there. Dom Santiago. Have you heard about this kid?
Yeah, we watched him a little bit last year. Helena, Helena play a physical brand of football, man. They really do. And
no idea.
Yeah.
Fill us in, Trey.
We
I think y'all heard about this kid. I mean, I think he's probably came on the radar for saying that he was going to stay at his school, as opposed to transferring from his school. So he made a lot of headlines there. It's because everybody identified who this kid was. Smook, I don't know if you're familiar with him. Are you familiar with Dom Santiago?
Oh snap! I was muted. I'm not familiar with him. I'm familiar with the style of ball he plays in this program at Helena, and the physicality aspect, and that to me, Trey, is what's going to get this guy. I don't care. His numbers don't have to say much, man. You turn it on. This is a guy that has, your full running back skill sets right there, right? But you want to possibly get him as like a stolen H-back type deal that can really be versatile with his physicality, secure run blocking for you, but also you can hand it off to him. You can put him in the pass concepts. He's going to be smart enough. I like him, man. I like him, Santiago. He's physical guy. When you're undersized, physicality will carry you a long way. I don't care what position you play, quarterbacks, running backs, linebackers. When you're undersized, you get mad love. It don't work as much for offensive linemen, but and that sucks. With the trenches, you got smaller guys in the trenches really dominating. I hate that they don't get the type of love that they should, but you got these smaller guys at these skill positions, all over the field making plays. Physicality added to that arsenal of what you possess as a prospect. You're going to see yourself gain some looks, and Helena plays a physical brand of football, man. I like what I saw early on his film, his highlight film.
Cool name, by the way.
Dom Santiago.
Dom Santiago.
Absolutely. And like I said, he made headlines for saying he was going to stay at his school as opposed to leaving his school. Now, they have a track record of getting guys to the next level. Jordan Washington right now is at Murray State, and he comes from a great offensive line. Coach Bugsby does a great job of having his guys ready to go. So I think for the most part, people can identify what they got going on. They can try to give them guys an opportunity. I don't think this year's going to be very tough for them. Let's just be honest, man.
Yeah.
They're in a very, very tough region, very tough opponents that they're going to have to face. So, it's a lot of loyalty over there, so if that's what going to win them football games, that's what they're going to have to do at Helena, man. They are very, like I said, solid loyal program over there. A lot of those guys, like I said, they trying to lead by example. I guess Dom, him staying loyal, saying he's going to stay, going to keep those guys together. So I'm very interested to see what they do this year. He has the size. I think he's going to probably be a next level player. Now, where, I just don't know. I think this season will dictate that. Especially with him putting up numbers, if he can. If he puts up 1,000 yards, I know for a fact he's proven himself. But if he gets close to that mark, I think that's a huge accomplishment for them to do that at Helena, playing in a tough classification. So I think that overall, he's in a good situation to be evaluated, and he comes from a line of running backs is at the next level right now.
Yeah, and like I said, Trey, a lot of people they listen to me talk about his physicality. You look at his frame, he doesn't have that boulder frame, you see out of running back position, but because of his more medium, like slender frame, at this level, you see his running style, man. You don't expect him to want to take on, some of those narrow angles and get his pad level as low as he does, but he does, man, at a high rate. It's like natural for him. It's not a strain. It's not like a third language to him. This is literally this man pad level, putting himself behind his pads and really being decisive about his running. Is going to create value for him. But like you said, he's another one of those guys, man. I think if he can showcase, other skill sets, that's what's going to create value for him. The more he can showcase that he can catch out the backfield, the more he can really be a solid pass blocker, the more he can be patient and running the screens, really selling. The small stuff is what matters for guys like this. Like you said, value can definitely see him playing on the next level on a roster, man, on a P4 roster.
Well, look, if he continues to do what he does and he goes in, like I said, with college coaches already can identify with the program, having guys at the next level, I think he's going to make it. So if he just does what he's supposed to do, also he has great hands out the backfield. I've seen him work out before. Actually, he worked out in a session with us over in one of the sessions. So I've seen him actively with his hands. So I think he's just trying to polish his game up right now. So he's essentially going to have to be needed in all phases at the game with Helena this year. So if he can just continuously elevate his stock, continuously do what he's supposed to do, I think he's going to be just fine. But I will expect some school to start recruiting him a little bit heavier, considering the fact that he's at Helena, considering the fact that I think most schools look at a running back 5'11", almost 200 pounds. they know they can put 10 to 15 pounds on this kid. So you're looking
100%.
at a kid be 6 foot, around 215 pounds. Man, he's gonna be a bruiser for somebody offense. Once they understand that he comes from the pedigree of college running backs right now. Man, this kid's gonna have a chance right now. So he's a prospect. Make sure y'all go follow him. I think this kid's gonna be special. Go ahead, Mr. Houston.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna jump off here. Mac Attack. We got to be up at 6. Be there at 6. But I want to shout out to Coach and you, Trey, for y'all putting this together. It's pretty cool. I'm watching these highlights up on the big screen outside here at the outdoor bar and kitchen. And I tell you what, man, y'all gonna change lives with this platform. These kids deserve it. And just the kids y'all mentioned tonight, nobody's ever heard of them. And this is gonna be game changing what y'all doing. And I appreciate you, Coach, and Trey. You know I love you, brother. And I appreciate y'all letting my redneck butt on here. But, let's keep going, man. Let's get these kids some rides, man. And let never quit. We never quit. So I appreciate y'all.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate you, Coach, and the kind words, man. And like my family back home in Phoenix City, shout out Coach Spiva and the gang down there, the 431 boys. Earn, not given, man. That's what we want you all to understand is earned. If you're making this platform and we push your name, you earned it. We're not giving it to you. You earned it. So take pride in it and push it. So, Coach, I appreciate the kind words and thank you for joining us tonight and contributing to this quality product that you enjoying yourself. You contributing to it, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. This is the coolest thing ever. Like I tell people, we're literally changing the way the world is viewing high school sports in the state of Alabama. But we're actually the one and the only people in the country is literally doing this at this particular moment. So y'all are always witnessing history when y'all see me and Smoke connect on anything that we do, because we've had the vision to do this from a long time ago. So we're going to keep it rolling, keep giving these kids opportunities, keep the good times rolling, like we said, and try to make sure these boys understand that we care for them at the end of the day. I know it's a tough job to do, but somebody got to do it. And I feel good about the people that's doing it with me, all the guys that surround me and my crew, everybody with me. I know Mr. Houston and Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson got messed up tonight. I don't think his connection was working, but we'll make sure he's good the next time, because there will be a next time. We'll be back again doing the same thing, probably again next Tuesday. I'm trying to catch up on a Thursday show, but man, my schedule's so busy.
Man, it's been tough. We've actually transitioned to make Thursdays. We do 2 1-hour segments to where we want the prospects. If you're listening right now, prospects, I know we're getting kind of late. We got 2 more guys to really knock out at the end. They were my 2 bonus guys, and I'm definitely going to do them. But if you want to have yours on the highlight power hour, the highlight high school highlight hour on Thursdays, submit them and give us your profile. A lot of you all just sent stuff and didn't really send a message. If you're just sending it blank, it doesn't show that you desire to have some real exposure. We want to be able to see that you're serious about your product. This is your opportunity that you're trying to create. So if you're not going to give it your max effort, we're not going to do it. There's guys out here that's really doing the small things: profile, name, height, weight. Talk to this coach. This is what I'm trying to do. I know I ain't D1. Like, people that care enough to do that. That's what we're going to push you guys. So if that's you, hit us up, DMs, inboxes, all of these names that you see coming across this panel tonight. Please do so. We want to help you. We want to support you in the state of Alabama.
Absolutely, man. And you said are you good for tonight, or what you going to do?
I got 2 more. And these not going to take long, man. I mean, real quick. These are 2 names. You didn't show no love to the trenches. So I had to go and get 2 prospects that are under the radar for me, that really had caught my eye. And I want to start on the offensive side, if you don't mind, bro.
Go ahead.
A guy out of Evergreen, Alabama, and everybody know I love my Evergreen family. I got some family down there, but this 26 prospect, he's one of the guys I was talking about. You know, going to be considered undersized when you look at the measurables. Going to be one of those guys where you're not sure if he's going to develop frame wise, but you turn on the film and you're like, okay, quality prospect. Why is nobody's looking to develop this guy? Because of the reason why Coach Freeman said. But I look at this young man, and let me pull it up right here. Let me see if I can get the right thing tapped in. Here we go. The young man, his name is Marion Thomas, out of Evergreen High School in Evergreen, Alabama. Hillcrest. Jags in Evergreen, Alabama. I'm sorry. 6 foot 290. And that usually is a defensive tackle in today's game right now. But this man got offensive line clips. He got defensive line clips. Whichever side of the ball you want him on, you got a quality prospect. I got a few guys like that offensive line in this 26 and the 27 class. And I'm really trying to find a way to project this message that get these guys a chance, man. Some of y'all big schools that's really looking for some depth, you're not getting it from these 4-star and 5-star guys. They'll go and play at a trash, I ain't gonna put no name on it. Well, a trash Power 4 school to collect that NIL. You want some value on your roster and pass your first. Guys like this is who I feel like you should be targeting and going after. So we're going to get this film on there. Are you familiar with Amirian Thomas out of Evergreen?
I'm not familiar with that area. If anything, Larry covers that area very well. I would have to get with Larry on that one because that's down by that Jackson area, somewhere close.
Yeah.
So typically, Larry would know. He probably know. I know Larry probably is gonna know the name because those kids all interact with each other down there. But that's a little bit outside the Birmingham area where I normally know. But hey, go ahead at him. I mean, if he's got the talent, I'm a vouch for him. Especially to come in an area where they don't get coverage.
100%. And I think he sees more success at the next level as a defensive tackle, interior defensive lineman, big body. Going to be physical in the trenches, violent with his hands. Great tracking for his size. A 6 foot 290, that's a big boy, but not a big boy. You get what I'm saying? And he doesn't move like the latter half of the big boys. He gets in, he gets active, he's going to create turnovers. He's real savvy with his skill set and his size. And I'm not saying he's the next Quinnen Williams or anything like that, but this is a rotational depth piece for most rosters that you're not expecting him to go out there and get 20 quarterback carries, but you are expecting him to go out there and disrupt 2 or 3 offensive linemen trying to pull and secure the A gap. You get what I'm saying? Or clear the A gap. So this is one of those guys, man. Effort on every play, going to give you 110%. He's one of those guys where if you're going to keep him in that type of frame, definitely get him in those skills training, those twitch muscles, those calisthenic type, high end type trainers. Get him into those for big guys because that's what you see these guys being able to do. The more athleticism they can show at their size and that frame, you can see them create some value for themselves and start to garner some looks. So that's what I want to introduce to the state. Amirian Thomas, defensive lineman, 6 foot 290, class 26 out of Hillcrest High School in Evergreen, Alabama.
Definitely make sure you drop his Twitter handle in the comment section or something so I can go check him out.
Oh, yes, sir.
I would definitely give him a follow because I do support all my guys in those rural Alabama areas that I haven't had a chance to cover. But I know Larry, like I said, may have heard about the kid, but it's only a matter of time before he come on our radar.
100%. And then last but not least, I'm going to take it back home, Trey. I got to take it back home. We got some of my boys, and they just not starting to pop in the past 2 weeks. They starting to get that national recognition. But this one right here, I think of everybody on this roster, man, is 1 or 2 guys that I think because of what's happening at Russell County and the type of exposure that they're gaining, these 2 guys are going to be some of the names that you're going to hear. And on the defensive side, they got about 6 that I think are going to start to pop this year. But on the defensive side, these 2 right here, this is one of them. And I want to talk about him. And he's a dog, man. He really started to pop last year around week 3, week 4. It's kind of like he became that dude. And now I think this year, going into the senior, may not camp a lot, may not get out to a lot of space. But when they turn on the film, he's going to be one of those steals of his class in somebody's Power 4 program. And that's none other than my youngin, Isaiah I.T. Thomas. Isaiah Thomas out of Russell County High School, 6'3". And I think the profile says 245 right now. But looking at him, at prom, youngin looked like he put on about 5-10 pounds. A lot of them Russell County boys done got in that weight room. They taking it serious with their nutrition. But IT looks like he's ready to be him. He's ready to be him. And I'm going to pull up his highlights real quick. I'm not going to stretch this out because we've kind of talked about him before he was getting any looks. And I think he's just committed recently. But I look for this young man to have an interesting recruiting journey during his senior year, going to garner a lot of attention. And some of the schools that I've put his film across are really just, doing some last minute things. And then he's going to be high on a lot of people's agenda. His get off is there. He gets his hands in you quick, tackles, you're probably in trouble. 6'3" with maybe a 6'5", 6'6" wingspan, very athletic, can get on the court and hoop. So you know when you get guys like that on the edge of your defense, you're talking about Myles Garrett's type energy. You're talking about Will Anderson type stuff where you're super athletic guys with size in their frames can demand double teams, slip through double teams, overpower double teams. Bull rush is there for this young man. He could bend well. Isaiah Thomas is a very, very, I won't even say underrated. They just haven't noticed him because of where he's at. If he was at Central right now, you know, he'll be going against a lot of other talented prospects, but I believe they will try to find a way to put him. That's the type of talent. And people look at Central because that's where it's been coming from. But Russell County is on the way up, and it's guys like Isaiah Thomas that are setting the tone over there. Him and Ty Davis, their free safety number 7. I'm telling you, just watch out. Just watch out. Isaiah Thomas is an elite pass rusher, and I don't think he's one of those guys that's going to have to transition to a traditional defensive end position at the next level. He's going to be a true edge rusher at the next level, and I think some P4 schools are really going to start seeing that and making a push to get that offer to him and get his attention.
Well, look, y'all, Russell County has a lot on their plate this year. They have to, put it on the field. Everybody wants to see that. And if these guys that are emerging left and right over at Russell County, y'all have a great chance to get more kids to the next level. And I think that's what we see it with the film that you got out right there. If these guys are performing like this and elevating their game, as many guys that they got over there with the size and ability, that's as many guys that you're going to keep going to the next level. So I think Coach got a great system in place, and the boys at Russell County look like they believe it now way more than they ever have. So I think that has to account for something right now. And I'm seeing it with my own eyes, especially with Bryson Riggins and crew. Those guys normally would have at Russell County. So something's going on back home for you over there, Smook, man. Y'all gotta keep it rolling.
I don't know if you can hear me sniffing, but I smell a change. And me and Coach Spivey, one of the coaches on that staff, man, we were talking about it when we were doing our documentary on Bryson Riggins last summer in June. And literally the things that I was evaluating with just him, but even started just looking at the guys, their summer workout program. They've done some different things there. And these guys are developing. I'm looking at Isaiah coming off the edge right now, man. The active feet and the active hands to keep the tacklers from getting a hand on them. He's so aggressive off the edge. And you look at the other end, I don't know the other young man's name, but they had a guy, number 55, 54, playing on the edge last year, opposite of Isaiah. And these guys, I mean, just, you had to start scheming and really taking key in one of them because the talent that's being developed there. So I'm excited to see not just Isaiah, but the talent region of that area, East Alabama, where I'm from, start to get more exposure past Central and Glenwood and Auburn, and Opelika. Like I like seeing all these schools getting put on the map because now you got these stats really pouring into and these guys are developing, and I just love to see it, man. I love to see it.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, I think that's a great way for you to look out for you guys back home too, man. Everybody needs exposure, even in your hometown sometimes, if you can, work with everybody. So that's a good look for you boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Hardtech, that's all I got for us tonight, man. I know we done spent this hour. We done went to 10:30 tonight. Just goes to show you all. I know parents, you probably like, man, these jokers dragging along. Well, when you got a chance to have Coach Mark Freeman in to put you on game, I think if you are living in the state of Alabama and you want to hear the real from a championship winning coach, you should have just kept your ears to and we provided on multiple platforms. So there's no excuses. And we're going to provide clips. Coach Mark Freeman, once again, shout out to you and everybody else that was in the spaces, everybody that was in the chat. Shout out to everybody for the support. My brother at Hardtech has been grinding. He's been on the road. That's why you hear me talking so much, because he does all the real leg work and writing this stuff from a journalistic standpoint. And I use my creative thinking to surround it and push that, because more people need to be exposed to these prospects and this process that we're trying to, this system that we're trying to develop to help push these prospects. So once again, thank you all. Trey, thank you for inviting me on this journey, bro. This is only the beginning, dog. I'm telling you, these parents, they hype about what we're doing, and I can't wait to see this, come to fruition, not just for our benefit, bro, but for these kids. I can't wait to be in the green room with my brother, Trey, because we was doing a little YouTube show, looking at highlights and giving kids opportunities, and they going to remember that time they highlight was on Coach Smook channel and Hardtech and them. And that's what got them to the NFL. I can't wait for that green room invite. So if you're watching right now and you heard me, I'm a classic man. We can do the black suit. Whatever color tie you can pick it. Whatever. Just remember me. I don't know what Trey talking about, but I'm.
Yeah. Hey, we headed that way, brother. Like I said, I appreciate the opportunity for everybody tuning in. All the guests, Coach Freeman, Mr. Houston, Mr. Johnson, all the people that tapped in with us tonight, man. Y'all know we do this on the regular. I am taking a day off tomorrow, so no show tomorrow. We'll circle back on Sunday, so that way I can get a lot of work done, a lot of graphics done, a lot of work, just edits done. So we will be back on sometime next week. Back again next Tuesday with you, Smoke. We'll probably figure out how we can get some more of these kids some exposure. But man, between now and then, man, it's just been a beautiful day. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and definitely on the YouTube side, man. This is something new, groundbreaking, man. We definitely gonna keep this going, and we're doing it because it's for the love of the game, man. So I appreciate you, Smoke. Y'all be safe tonight, man. I appreciate y'all time.
100%, man. Y'all take care. God bless. All right, chat. So that's it for the show tonight. I'm sorry I carried y'all so long, man. I jumped in, and when he told us we had Coach Freeman available, like that's something and that's not clout chasing. He is very knowledgeable in this industry when it comes to high school. So high school football in the state of Alabama, and it's a lot of them across the state that are opening up just like Coach Freeman. He's just one of the more vocal ones, and we just so happen to be able to catch him in that time, and I'm grateful. So shout out to everybody for supporting. We're going to go ahead and get off of here tonight. Thank you for all the support on all platforms. I see Rico checking in. If you love recruiting, you love high school ball, this is something that you're going to enjoy, and help us get my thing is Haltech and everybody in Alabama is going to handle Alabama. This needs to be across the country. We're pushing Alabama right now, because that's where we got our reach at right now. But we've already crossed borders. So Thursdays is the day where we go across the country and we pull our highlights. So thank y'all for doing, and do what y'all do, man. Continue to support, like, share, subscribe, because we keep it live, all that good stuff. And remember, y'all, when you see me in the streets, holla at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smoke. I'll see y'all on Thursday for our next morning show. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourselves. And stay up, man.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holla at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smoke.
It's all in my head tonight. It's all in my head. Reunite, love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite, love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite, love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite, love all. What you say? Wanna lay in my bed, so I'm ready. It's all in my head tonight. Love all, reunite, it's all in my head.
Holla at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smoke.
Put me in the game, Coach Smoke. Put me in the game, Coach Smoke.
Like, share, subscribe. We keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smoke. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smoke.